The African bush elephant, or Loxodonta africana, is... you probably are familiar with elephants, especially African ones. These are the largest living terrestrial animals. Bull elephants in particular can reach an average shoulder height of over 3 meters, as well as a body mass of over 6 tons. They're big, but generally thought of as fairly gentle giants. For one thing, they're herbivores. They don't eat meat and don't hunt people. And as long as you give them space, they'll give you space. Generally speaking, humans don't have to really fear elephants. And actually, considering they're endangered at the moment, they might have more to fear from us in general, but that's besides the point. However, occasionally, there is the elephant that decides to be a little different than the rest. Maybe a bit, more upset, more aggressive, more murderous. This particular elephant existed during the 1940s, and was known as the rogue elephant of Aberdare Forest. What is a rogue elephant? Well, a rogue elephant is kind of a general term, but it usually is meant to refer to an elephant, a male, that doesn't belong to a herd. These males, who tend to be on the older side, get frustrated, lonely, and they start taking out their anger on everything around them. They're known to get a little dangerous and sometimes rather violent, though even in their case, most rogues, as long as you stay the heck away from them, probably won't do anything to hurt you. This wasn't one of them. This particular male was never given a name based off of any source of able to find, so for the sake of clarity, I'm going to refer to him as the Punisher, for reasons that'll become clear later. Now, the Punisher was, again, a rogue elephant, and his activities were a bit, more terrifying than a lot of rogues. Sources differ on how many people he directly killed, though bare minimum, he actively tore one man limb from limb and then stamped his body into the ground. So, you know, that's neat. And other sources say he did kill a few hunters that went to get him, but those differ greatly in terms of accounts. But he was attacking villages, that is definite. And never the same village twice. He always found a new one, destroyed their crops and property, tried to attack people, though they usually managed to get away from the rampaging behemoth, and then disappeared into the jungle. And he kept doing this. Repeatedly. And you know, it gets to a point where, like, okay, this is self-defense now. I don't like the idea of killing an elephant. I like elephants. But, the Punisher's being kind of a jerk at the moment. This was going on in British East Africa, and the locals contacted a known hunter, a man named J.A. Hunter. Yes, his name really was J.A. Hunter, who was a hunter. I'm not making this up. Anyway, Hunter was born in Scotland, but he became a very well-known white hunter, as they are sometimes called, taking down a lot of big game. Though later in life, he would actually start pressing for conservation, as he started to realize that overhunting was actively going to wipe these creatures from the face of the earth, and perhaps just shooting them willy-nilly was a bad call, but in any event, he was good at his job, and the villagers asked him to help, so he did. It was Hunter and his gun bearer, named Sisita, that actually found the body of the native that had been ripped apart. The following day, they were given a fresh trail as the elephant had struck again, attacking a neighboring village. And they did find him. But the thing about this elephant, as you may have doubtlessly noticed, is that he was really smart. Elephants are known to be very smart animals, and the Punisher was no exception. Not only did he not attack the same village twice, but he was pretty good about getting out of the way of danger. He knew that casually charging a human, particularly one with a gun, would be a bad call. The elephant did catch Hunter's scent, and immediately made a retreat, so Hunter couldn't get him that day. But the following day, the Punisher again attacked another village 3 miles away. They followed yet another fresh trail, and this time when the elephant caught their scent, he decided to charge. Hunter managed to get off a shot and bring the elephant down. The natives were thankful, but what was the deal with this elephant? I mean, a typical rogue is one thing, but the Punisher was going out of his way to attack villages and kill people. So, why? Well, Hunter did examine the remains and figured out what he was pretty sure was the reason. See, the first thing he noticed was that the quality of the Punisher's ivory was actually pretty poor, being only about 40 pounds per tusk, whereas a healthier elephant would have about 3 times that much. Upon closer examination, he discovered that embedded in the right tusk of this elephant was a musket ball. This wasn't his bullet. This was an old one, and it had been buried in the nerve center, right beneath the tusk, which is a very sensitive part of the elephant. Hunter felt that this was done by an ivory hunter, which may have actually been the elephant's first victim. Then again, in that case, it would have been self-defense. With the musket ball in that particular spot, it meant it would cause the elephant exceeding amounts of pain, just constantly. So basically, all these events transpired to create a giant animal that is, in fact, the largest terrestrial animal on the face of the planet, smart enough to remember the day a human hurt him, also having a constant pain in one of the most sensitive parts of its body, serving as yet another reminder of the day a human hurt him. You see why I called him the Punisher now? He had very viable reason to just hate people, and Hunter suspected that this is what drove the animal to such excessive violence. In that way, it's actually kind of a sad story. Some dude was hunting ivory out of greed, failed to take down an animal, and all the Punisher did was seek revenge on the people that he thought hurt him. The villagers, of course, had nothing to do with this. They were innocent bystanders, as were many of the victims. But that's how things happen sometimes. As I said, towards the end of his life, J.A. Hunter would begin pressing for conservation and start pushing for a lot of social reform in Africa. While he was Scottish-born, he had grown to care for and respect many of the natives down there, and started somewhat resisting the general colonialist attitude from Britain. And during his life, he didn't just hunt animals, he also hunted down some ivory smugglers. So he definitely did some good in the world either way. And with that, a special thank you to all my underwater train finders, Some Dude 267, Orange Glass, Benjamin Owens, Anzac A1, Arthur Roy, Jack, Carson's River Videos, Lord Off 444, Isurfer 1405, Charles Kwiatkowski, Matt Weaver, Tom Redline, Henderson Productions 8104, Wheeljack 8401, Rescues Greyhound, Stub Baxter, Caleb Crosswhite, Andrew Bowen, Josh Johnson, Caleb Rainwaters, Prez Drenton, Master of None, Travis Linsky, Jared Brussel, JBL Explorers, Tommy Rossini, Ben McCullough, Panzer Kitson 131-232, Mark Holding, G Wiz, Mr. Terevel, Hayden DeGrow, Metal for Life Guy, No, Kurt Forkum, Ohio Trucker 1, Mitchell Cole, Mr. Sleepy, Dr. Race 78, AET Museum, Railroad Preserver 2000, Williard Conklin, Windy City Rails, Liam Wright, DM Trouble Typhoon, Harry, Hannah Bird, Western Colorado History, Ryan Wehofer, Drew Debris, George Kenny, Murder Drones Doll, Kevin Wood, and of course, my dad. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.